Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So this is the third and final video that I'm recording while I am out of town for release for you guys, so you guys do not necessarily miss any new content on the channel. And in this video, we're going to be doing a Trump versus Biden 2024 map, being as objective as possible, taking even some of my past errors into account while doing so, and kind of filling this map out and seeing if Trump is going to be stronger for 2024 than DeSantis was in the last video, where we had it as pretty much a toss-up. It all really hinges on the state of Wisconsin. This video, we're going to see if it hinges on a state or if Trump is going to get over the hump, because you have this debate, and I did a video on this about a week or two ago, mapping the electability between the two. I think that this is kind of another different perspective of looking at that, and seeing if Donald Trump, assuming he gets the nomination, which means he has to unite some of the party behind him, he still has a lot working against him. He's not guaranteed victory because he's going to have a divided party, and the party establishment will do nothing to really help him in the general election, just like they didn't help a lot of candidates who were aligned with him in the general election in 2022. Now, the difference is Trump does have a war chest. He's sort of getting some messaging off the ground. He released a large, wide platform in terms of combating censorship on social media that I wish he did during his presidency, and it was awesome, but sadly the whole NFT release thing that was a little bit strange managed to overshadow that in the media. But at the same time, that very well could have been a stunt to get people to start talking about his platform, because they likely wouldn't have talked about it either way, and they still really haven't talked about it a lot. But nevertheless, we're going to fill this map out. Trump versus Biden. We'll fill out these safe red states. Probably could have been doing this during the intro, because everybody knows where certain states are really going to be headed in certain directions here. Obviously, we'll give them Alaska, actually, in the safe column, all of Nebraska except the 2nd district there. Then we will fill out the Biden states on this map, the safe blue ones. It's possible Biden's not the nominee, by the way, which really would make things interesting, and that's something else that we're going to be talking about ahead of 2024. But still, as long as the guy is not fully incapacitated, he probably is going to end up being their nominee. Colorado as well should go safe Democrat. It's not the same Colorado of old, and we know that very well. So now we'll probably fill out some of the states that are going to go in the likely Democrat column. Maine at large, New Hampshire. Again, these states are long shots. Demographically speaking, Republicans may be able to win at some point in the future. It's not like they're gone, but at the same time, educational demography and trends are kind of working against them, even though the white working class voters in those states have come aboard to Trump and Republicans as a result, and that's why Maine's 2nd district's going to be Republican. So Virginia is likely Democrat. Again, could be turning a corner. Biden has lost popularity since the 2020 election, which is something that nobody seems to be talking about. But at the same time, I mean, it really is a state that has a lot working against Republicans, especially Trumpian Republicans, because of the Nova, Northern Virginia establishment there. Minnesota, Nebraska 2nd, both of these very suburban, moving away from Republicans, mainly because of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area in Minnesota, and then Nebraska 2nd's basically just Metro Omaha, which is more conservative than Minneapolis, but, you know, it doesn't have the rural parts that I guess will keep Minnesota under 10. So besides that, New Mexico, Republicans have been talking about it for a while. I think it might get like a couple points closer because of like maybe Hispanic trends, but not really enough evidence to prove it really being competitive. So Biden out of the gate, safe and likely states, is already at 226. Now, Republicans have likely states as well. Florida, again, DeSantis has terraformed the state. Trump is very popular in Florida still, even according to the 2022 exit polls compared to Biden. The state of Texas as well. And this is a state where Republicans have been still holding their ground in. I think that Trump probably would win it by about 5. You might see, I don't know, maybe a point or two of suburban reversion in certain places, but not necessarily enough. You could even make a case for it being lean R, but probably around a 5-point win for Trump. The state does have an effective party apparatus, and you saw that in spades in 2022 and to a certain extent in 2020, and Trump would get pretty good turnout among Tejanos in South Texas as well, just like he got in 2020. Didn't exactly see that for Abbott in 2022. Iowa and Ohio, honestly, you could even make some of these safe. I'd probably move Iowa to safe. I think that just based off of rural trends there, very rural state. Ohio, likely too safe Republican there as well. So these are the likely Republican states, 226 to 219. So there are still around 5-6 states or so to fill out here. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 states. There we go. 7 states to fill out in order to gauge this map. So I guess we should start off with Michigan, because I think that it's important that we note the fact Dems have a trifecta there. They're going to do everything possible to hold their power because that's what they do. They do so more effectively than Republicans, and that's a problem, which is why Republicans really need to start to get their act together. And even though Trump, I think, would do better than a generic Republican in Michigan because he does have a unique base there that does turn out, I still think that he would fall short in this current state of the state of Michigan. It actually trended left between 2016 and 2020. Wisconsin did not. I think he would win Wisconsin. I think that Wisconsin, you look at the fact that even though a lot of his base didn't turn out, you still saw Ron Johnson win in 2022 in a lot of these places, and he held decent margins in the rural counties. Tim Michels didn't do that because he was weak and didn't exactly campaign properly. But I think Trump would take Wisconsin, especially just given trends, which you can't really look away from. I think Pennsylvania would be up in the air. I think this cycle is a canary in the coal mine about Pennsylvania. Again, if Trump was on the ticket, you would have seen different results. He does have this unique turnout base in rural Pennsylvania. Mastriano, he might have been Trumpian, but he didn't have any resources, was outspent 41-1. A lot of the base was very skeptical of Oz, despite him being endorsed by Trump because of his past liberal social positions. And again, he didn't do that poorly in the suburbs. He outperformed Trump in some of them, but in the rural heartland of Pennsylvania, which votes identical to West Virginia or even the Deep South in some cases, well, yeah, it didn't exactly pan out well for turnout there for anybody. So North Carolina, I think that he holds it probably by a lean margin or so. Georgia, I don't believe he does because the state is moving away from Republicans, and he is a Trumpian Republican, not exactly the best fit for the suburbs. Not even saying DeSantis is guaranteed to win Georgia, but you don't need to win Georgia to win anyways, and the state is kind of just gone for Republicans because of demography, because of educational trends. It's a sad thing to see there, and I don't think Kemp and the Georgia state legislature care enough. Right now, they're debating on passing ranked choice voting, which would be a total disaster. It's like they honestly don't really want Georgia to begin with to stay a Republican state. But that's beside the point. We're going to go to the Southwest right here. We have Nevada, we have Arizona, and Arizona has now Democrat leadership. Republicans still have the state legislature, this is true, but Kari Lake losing in disappointing fashion, and that's going to hurt Republicans there for the next 4 years or so. And the state could be gone for good, potentially, if they're not able to reverse their track record. And like I said, it's possible they take the Senate seat there because of Sinema running as an independent, and that could pull swing voters or these, milquetoast rhinos away from, I don't know, voting for somebody like Gallego over somebody like Andy Biggs, which would get Biggs the victory there. But still, I think that you would have to say Trump would be at a disadvantage in Arizona, probably narrowly. I still think it's possible, but if there's no changes to the electoral system, I just can't see him crossing that finish line there. But I do think he could cross the finish line in Nevada, especially if Republicans get their harvest operation, because his base in the rurals, there really was no operation to turn them out. I think they would with him on the ticket. Given trends, I think Nevada would vote Republican. I think it would. Democrats there have been in disarray. They still are in disarray, even though they were able to get lucky because the electoral system does favor them in the state. Republicans don't really play that to their advantage, and that's a whole problem they're going to have, and they're not going to be able to win if they're not able to change the way they play the game, because they're playing 1980s, 1990s elections. And I agree that the electoral system back then was a lot more effective and efficient, but still, as long as it exists, I mean, whining about it, you can whine about it all you want, but you got to use it to your advantage. Republicans do that in Florida, Virginia, Texas in many cases, and it works to their advantage. And the more that they learn this, the better. And there's no turnout operation in a lot of these Rust Belt states where maybe Trump was that unique Republican that could turn out voters in, but still in the future, Trump's not going to be around forever to bail you out. You got to have a turnout operation, got to adjust that messaging and go from there. But either way, 268, 251, 19 unsure. Trump gets Pennsylvania. The party's united, gets his act together. Everybody gets their act together. Then I think that he could beat Biden. Otherwise, it's going to be an uphill climb for electoral politics, nationally, that is, in 2024 and beyond. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.